Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Michigan Time. We're excited to bring back this Wolf TV classic. I'm Owen Crane.
And I'm Micah Sweet. Tonight, Michigan Time begins with breaking news. On Saturday morning, the Board of Regents unanimously voted to fire Mark Schlissel from his position as president. After receiving 30 days' notice to vacate the president's house, Schlissel was cited finally breaking his silence towards Jonathan Vaughn, asking, "Yo, you got room for one more in there?" Unfortunately for the Vaughn and Schlissel friendship, the university offered Schliss a full-time position as a baker in South Quad. Turns out that the dining hall wanted to lure more students in with a promise of a KNISH.
And M Dining knows what people want. Mark Schlissel has a PhD from Johns Hopkins, and he thought it was a good idea to send fan fiction from his work email. Old people, please stop using email to sext. I learned this the hard way in middle school, and again, Miss Hogan, I'm very sorry about that.
Speaking of Schlissel's removal from his position as president, sources say he is devastated after learning that there's virtually no chance of losing your virginity after leaving college.
And while students initially welcomed the long weekend, after the Schlissel news broke, they realized they had an extra 118 pages of required reading. Now more about white men with an association to Michigan. A recent scientific study shows that adults who spend more intimate time with their kids seem younger than their age. Quote, "I told you so," said the oldest quarterback in the NFL.
Rumors continue to swirl about Michigan football head coach Jim Harbaugh leaving for the NFL. However, fans were recently put at ease when Harbaugh said in an interview that he's, quote, "not ready to give up sleepovers with high schoolers yet," end quote. Wow. No wonder I wasn't a Michigan fan as a kid. In other news, the Diag Squirrels are embracing the body positivity movement this winter. In a press release submitted to the Michigan Daily, the Squirrel Feeding Club encouraged students to gather outside the Hatcher Graduate Library for a feeding festival, saying, quote, "they just love a fat nut in their mouth."
And on the topic of furry friends, I too have something to confess. The Humane Society is inviting experts to make a case against Ann Arbor's annual deer cull program. Critics of the program argue that not only does it divide the community, but it costs taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars. Quote, "Yeah, and it's also really mean," said a poorly disguised deer in a fake mustache and glasses.
In local news, the Ann Arbor Folk Festival has been canceled due to the COVID-19 Omicron surge. The cancellation is a major loss in revenue for local businesses selling Birkenstocks. A Toledo man says he was shot in the leg while on a Tinder date in Ann Arbor. I bet syphilis doesn't sound so bad now, does it, Jeremy?
A recent U of M study has shown that as the temperature has dropped off in Ann Arbor, reports of frat boys using the shrinkage excuse has increased tenfold. Are you sure it's just not your raging porn addiction, Brad?
Oh, I bet that worked for you too, Owen. I wish this Schlissel news shocked me, but it really doesn't. University administrators abusing their power for sex just doesn't raise an eyebrow anymore. The people need real news.
Well, that's all for tonight, folks.
Thanks for tuning in to Michigan Time. We've missed you, and we'll see you next week.